Recently, Governor Rauner announced his plan to cut $26 million in social service grants throughout Illinois. Naperville News 17's Alyssa Bohennick has more on how the cuts could impact services in our city.
As Governor Bruce Rauner stepped into office, he also stepped into our state's $1.6 billion budget shortfall. In an effort to relieve that gap, he suspended $26 million in social service and public health grants for the state. It's cause for alarm for DuPage-based Family Shelter Services, a domestic violence care center.
About 44% of our budget comes from state and federal funds, so we do rely on the government to help provide services for victims of domestic violence. We think we'll be impacted by about a 2.25% reduction in our current contract. And what that means is it'll be about $15,000 less in our current contract.
They're not alone in their struggle. Part of the cuts include eliminating $1 million for autism groups, which means complete loss of state grant funding for Naperville autism group Little Friends. But even those not directly affected by the cuts could still feel the shortcomings.
The other agencies we work with do get funding, so if their funds are cut, then there's less money overall in the community to help people. So that is our concern. Again, if this erosion of the safety net happens, and as they're discussing, we are very concerned about our clients being able to get to work and then how they pay their rent or pay their utilities.
Though many groups in the area are worried about the loss, State Representative Grant Worley says it's a necessary step in moving our state forward and getting the budget back on track.
For the first time, as I said earlier, that we're trying to balance our budget with the dollars that we know are coming in. Before, we would just spend and then try to backfill where the money was coming from. That's not how you run a business, a government, or a household, and we need to get out of that habit.
But in Caribeau's eyes, money shouldn't be an issue when it comes to helping those in need in our community.
We continue to see very complex social service issues. The safety and the health of the community really relies on the safety of individuals, and if an individual's life is literally threatened, I think we have a responsibility as a community, as a state, as a government, to take care of those who are most vulnerable.
Services in our area are still waiting to hear final numbers, but urge others to contact their state representative to voice concerns. I'm Alyssa Bohennick for Naperville News 17.
Besides the $26 million in cuts for human services, Rauner also suspended $178.8 million in grants from the Department of Natural Resources and plans to take an additional $4.5 million more.